of being here tonight with Rebecca Cash, Becky Cash, who is a mom of 6 out of Zionsville, Indiana. And she is not only a mother of 6, but was really drawn to nutrition when she was looking for natural ways to help the health challenges that she was facing with her own children. And it really turned into something big for her. Not only was she having a Shaklee career based on that, but then she found that she could open up more doors and help more people if she actually went and got a degree. So she did just that, and she is a naturopathic doctor. And I'm so very thankful to have her in my life. And I know I'm just one person that she's been able to help, but there are thousands of them out there that Becky's been able to touch with her knowledge and her ability to not only help them with the information that she's sharing, but just by listening to the individual themselves and really helping with all of the needs that they have. So we're very fortunate to have her here with us tonight. And so she'll be sharing some of those words of wisdom with us. So Becky, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So tonight we're going to focus on immune health. And this is very important for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's really not fun to be sick. But also it's, we're going to be able to talk a lot about prevention as well. And so I do have a few slides that are prepared for us. I'm going to go ahead and share that screen with us, or with you rather, so that we can all follow along with some of these slides. So Becky and my heads will get a little bit smaller over there in the chat box, but we are going to definitely be focusing on the Shaklee side of the nutrition tonight. There's just so much that Shaklee has to offer, and we're going to share with you from a doctor's perspective on why you would want to use nutrition really for prevention, right, Becky? I think that that's something that you use a lot in your practice, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, nutrition is really the foundation of everything we do. You can put all things in, we talk about this a lot, both in chat and but my office, that you can put all kinds of good things into your body. You can put, honestly, you can even put antibiotics and pharmaceuticals in there, but all you're doing is creating a Band-Aid, whether it be supplements or isn't there.
Right. If the nutrition isn't there and you don't have that foundation, a house is no good without a solid foundation. And so that's a really good way of looking at our health as well. I want to talk a little bit about why Shaklee and why that would be a company that you would want to partner with for your health and nutrition needs. And I think that this slide here really shows us a lot of that information. We're talking about the 100 years of innovation that Shaklee had, all the way from 1915 when Dr. Shaklee was the very first creator of the first multivitamin that we had, all the way to, well, this year actually when we launched an all-natural skincare line. Becky, what's your favorite piece of the Shaklee difference, and why does that matter in why you've chosen to partner with Shaklee?
Oh gosh, that's a little bit of a loaded question, but
I know.
To be honest, just a little background. I am a mother of 6 children. My youngest is 5 years old. My oldest is 18 years old. 4 out of 6 of my kids have special and medical needs, though over the years, and thanks to what I have honestly learned a lot through our health journey, but also in my training, we've narrowed down why they struggle so much, which really goes back to my health. But the other administration, you eat Kraft macaroni and cheese, the pop a Flintstone vitamin once a week. We were told it was just candy. Anyways, and I just really took for granted that the quote unquote standard, which sounds a little bit funny, but that the FDA had for Kraft macaroni and cheese and Chef Boyardee, at least minimally, were there for supplements. And the truth is, and really this is a blessing in a lot of ways, but the FDA doesn't regulate those things. And the reason I say it's a blessing is because it would, I won't go into it in depth, but it would cause some problems since the pharmaceutical industry can't patent supplements. We really wouldn't be able to get what we need. But when I introduced to Shaklee and I was told, oh, they do all these tests, they have all these peer-reviewed clinical studies, they have all these standards. I went, oh, okay, because I assumed, of course they do. But what I came to learn is that most companies don't have the standards. They don't have peer-reviewed clinical studies. They don't have the research. They do 3,000 tests a year. So honest to goodness, the reason why, despite the fact that I can now get accounts with just about any nutraceutical company out there and go in just about any direction, the reason why I keep coming to Shaklee for products that Shaklee makes, because they don't have everything. If they make it, the reason I use it is because they surpass everybody else in the industry. I mean, and I really would challenge anybody to show me another company that even comes halfway to the standards, because I would genuinely look at it because I want to know, but it's not there. The studies and the research and the testing of the raw ingredients. And so I don't want to put into my children if it's not safe, and I won't recommend it to anybody else if I don't really truly believe it's safe. The safety is really what it all comes down to for me.
Yeah, that safety, purity, and peace of mind makes it easy not only to put it into your own children, but to recommend it to anybody that you come in contact with, which is really fantastic. So we talked a little bit about, being organic and, some of the standards that Shaklee has set. And for anybody who isn't aware of what it means to go beyond organic, Becky mentioned those, the testing and the strict policies and that Shaklee has. And we conduct over 100,000 quality tests annually, and screening for over 350 contaminants on every raw ingredient. So you truly can have that peace of mind without having, the degree behind it to do the research. You guys are doing the research for us. They're a company that's built on integrity. And here's some of those research papers that Becky had mentioned as well. 135 published papers and scientific presentations, more than 100 patents and patents pending. So we are doing things differently than other companies that are out there. The proof is in the people who are using the products. The proof is in the science that is being shown. And so it's not just a bunch of us being cheerleaders for the company and talking about how much we love the products, but it's truly being proven in the scientific studies that Shaklee is publishing. Becky, can you share with us a little bit about the Olympic athletes and the or NASA, or whichever piece of this is your favorite? And
well, it's all my favorite, because whether you're talking about our Olympic athletes or you're talking about our astronauts, and forgive me, since I'm doing this from a phone, if I'm not making eye contact, it's not intentional. I'm actually going to look at the screen and do it. It's not ideal. But first of all, our Olympic athletes, it's a really, really big deal that any Olympic athlete, much less dozens. I mean, I really kind of lost count. Kelly, do you know how many Olympic athletes are now on the pure performance team?
I don't know anymore. I know we're up to 137 medals, but I'm not sure the number of athletes any longer.
I want to think it's definitely in the 50s and possibly.
Becky, I think you might have covered up your mic with your finger. Could you?
No, I don't think so. Can you?
There you are. Yep, you're back.
Okay. All right. I know, I'm looking to go, was that my microphone? Anyways, so they don't put anything in their body that could possibly be flagged in any way, shape, or form. I mean, the Olympic Committee, any day of the year, any hour, they can show up at their house at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning and say, submit to a drug test right now. And they can say no. They will be automatically disqualified. So it's not good enough for them to just look at the ingredients on the container and go, oh, these look okay. They have to absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, trust the company behind what they're putting in their body, because they have to know if Shaklee says, oh, there's leucine in there, that it's not tainted leucine. And the problem is that often companies don't even know that there's a flagged item in their ingredients. So they have to know that the company is doing their own testing, their own third-party testing, and testing to make sure that there's nothing contaminated. And then I'm not sure if our NASA athletes, probably not drug tested at 5 a.m. in the morning. Maybe they should, going in a space shuttle, but they have to product and get them back into orbit and save their life, to be honest. So So it's a pretty big deal that these products are being used, and they're genuinely being used. These are not paid endorsements. So.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the resources to be able to use any product that would suit their needs. And the fact that they're choosing to partner with Shaklee, I think, speaks leaps and bounds about the products that we have to offer. So not only do we have the science and everything that we've just shared with you, which we could have talked about that. We could do an entire presentation just on the Shaklee difference, but we must move on if we want to learn about immune function. So but you do have this with anything that you use from Shaklee. You have the Shaklee guarantee. The products will always be safe and proven, and they have a 100% guarantee behind them as well. So let's talk a little bit about immune health. I mean, it's pretty obvious that everyday stress, nutritional deficiencies, and pollution and fatigue can challenge our immune system on an everyday basis. You know, it's made up from different organs and cells and different proteins, because the human body is absolutely a complex body. And so we have to do things to make sure that we focus on prevention. It's important that we don't wait to get sick before we try to get better, right? It's really better to arm ourselves. You know, a knight doesn't go into battle and put his armor on after he's been hit by a sword once. He's got the armor on before he ever mounts the horse to go out to battle. And so let's do that for ourselves. Let's build that healthy foundation. Let's focus on prevention. And so we're going to talk about some key pieces here of immune function and how that is going to help us to support it. So the best things that we can do to support our immune system is to have good sleep, reduce stress, which I know can be difficult and challenging for everybody, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. To have adequate exercise and rest, to have good nutrition, and we're going to talk a little bit about keeping kids healthy as well, since we're here and we've got Becky with us. So let's talk about sleep first, okay? Sleep is going to help to regulate the immune system, and lack of sleep can, of course, weaken the body's immune system. We've got some tips on here for some good ways that you can try to get a good night's sleep. But since we have Becky on the phone, I wanted to ask you, Becky, and of course, you guys, I did not prompt Becky with any of the questions that I have, so we're just going to use her brain and kind of hit her off guard with some of these questions. But Becky, could you share with us some of the nutrients that help to benefit us to get a good night's rest?
Oh gosh, that was not a question I was prepared for at all. She really wanted to stump the naturopath. She should have called it, because you guys can read the screen and you can see, you know, things like avoiding caffeine 6 hours before bed and avoiding alcohol and those things. But what nutrients benefit you? So calcium and magnesium are definitely nutrients that help us with getting a good night's sleep. In fact, whether it be children or adults, if they're struggling with sleep, and magnesium nutrients that we go to. But, you know, really, it's a little bit of a loaded question, because I would say that it's a sign that we are healthy. So really, I mean, making sure that we have all of the nutrients and all of the nutrition that we need, making sure we're getting adequate protein, that we're getting adequate vitamins and minerals, that we're well hydrated, definitely that we're avoiding caffeine and chocolate before bed. I don't know about you guys, but chocolate gives me bad dreams. So I don't know if anybody else has that experience, but avoiding chocolate before bed and such. And so, and of course, this isn't the nutrient, but, and I know Dr. Jennifer Shenning on our Ask a Pediatrician brought this up, but making sure we're getting lots of exercise. I mean, if we know that we as adults feel better and stay healthier with exercise, we definitely need to make sure our kids are getting that too. So.
Thank you. Yes, calcium, magnesium is that's always the key one that comes to mind too. So I'm glad to hear that you agree with that. Let's talk a little bit about stress and how stress can affect our immune system. Becky, did you want to take this slide, or should I play Stump the Naturopath again?
No, I can take the slide. That's fine. Though, you know, I think I could handle it if you did try to stump me. So, you know, you can, stress absolutely affects your immune system. I don't know if hand raising key on here, but if you have the ability to raise your hand or make a comment or such, I'd like to know if anybody disagrees with that statement. But stress, absolutely, it weakens us. It builds anxiety. We're more prone to getting sick. exercise, and then ways to make stress.
Becky, you're cutting in and out, and I'm not sure what might be going on. We can see you just fine. You're not freezing, but we're having trouble with your microphone.
Okay, I don't know how to fix that because I have it to my face. So I'm sorry. I'm not over my microphone. So
Okay.
So I guess just if you feel like people can't hear me. So and maybe people can also comment in the comment.
Yes.
Helene, sometimes you break up also, and I don't know if that's just me.
Okay.
So that's happening. So, but definitely, you know, right? Definitely help to manage stress. So.
And do you have a favorite Shaklee product that helps you to combat stress, Becky?
Well, there are several Shaklee products that I really use both personally and in my office with stress, but B complex is a definite go-to. B vitamins help people to manage stress for multiple different reasons, including regulating blood sugar, including balancing hormones, cortisol levels, energy, but also Shaklee has a phenomenal product called Stress Relief Complex. It has ashwagandha in it, and L-theanine and tyrosine, which are amino acids. And working together in collaboration, they help to lower cortisol levels. And we actually use this product with children and teenagers also.
You know, I forget about B complex when it comes to reducing stress. It's really my go-to is the stress relief complex. I completely forget about the B complex. So thanks for that reminder. So you mentioned exercise when it came to making sure that we were, for ways for us to sleep better. But let's go ahead and talk about how moderate exercise can help to boost our immune system.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't know if Dr. Shenning's on the call tonight because she jumps on some of them, but I thank her a lot for bringing that up in the Ask the Pediatrician, because I personally feel like I spend a lot of time telling parents not to run their kids so much, but there's a balancing act there because we don't want to overrun them, but we want them to stay active so that their body and their cells can work. And then sometimes we're so busy running our kids, but what we do is we run them to Little League, and we run them to swimming, and we run them to gymnastics. And what are we doing when we're doing that? We're sitting, we're watching, and getting our exercise. So mamas out there, dads are a lot better than we are at this, but you know what? You can't take care of your kids if you're not taking care of yourself. So definitely.
No, that's absolutely true. You don't think about that side of when they have an activity, and that can leave you very sedentary as you're watching them do that. My goodness, I never really actually made that connection. Thanks for pointing that out. That's a really good tip. All right. So when we talk about nutrition and how it's key for helping us to maintain a healthy immune system, you mentioned the proteins and the things like that our body needs. I think we all know what it takes to have a well-balanced diet, and that we probably all need more vegetables in our life. But it almost seems like in order, with the way that our food quality and the nutrients in our food has decreased over the years, it really seems like we would actually have to eat pretty much all day long to get the adequate nutrients that we need. So let's talk about a little way that we can get all of that in one convenient way for us. In a strip. Can you share with us a little bit about the Vitalizer, please?
Yes, absolutely. So, and Kalina, I want to mention that so often we make comments, and please, it's a very regular comment to make about, we all know what to do. We all know to be eating our fruits. We all know to be eating our vegetables. We all know to be doing this or that, but there is a lot of information being spewed at people. I mean, seriously, how many people have seen the ad that bananas are the worst possible food you could eat for your weight? That is that is absolutely not true. Bananas are not the worst food that you can eat. So actually, I'm not entirely certain that people are sure how to eat. All the controversies, do you eat bread? Do you not eat bread? Do you eat whole grains? Do you go gluten-free?
Salt is good, salt is bad.
Exactly. And you know what? The answer to all of that is yes and no. And it really, because different people need to be eating different things. But the bottom line is this: I don't care how good you're eating. I don't care if you are eating all organic, if you are buying all of your milk, directly from the farmer that uses no pesticides, and on and on. It is impossible to get all of the nutrients we need from our food supply. Our soils don't have the minerals and nutrients that they used to have in them when our grandma was out back milking her own cow. And we don't have time to go in depth about all the research on there, but it is absolutely based in research. And even the American Medical Association, which I don't quote very often, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the National Institute of Health, they all say that unless you have no stress in your life, get a perfect amount of sleep, get plenty of exercise and plenty of rest, you need minimally a multivitamin. But I'm going to say that very few people can get by with just a multivitamin. So I really recommend for teenagers and adults, all teenagers and adults, that they look at a vitamin strip called Vitalizer. It is made by the Shaklee Corporation. There's tons of research, studies for safety, efficacy, bioavailability that I would be happy to go into with anybody, or Kalina, or whoever invited you to this call. But in that vitamin strip, all the vitamins, so avocados for your good fats. Well, we've got the omegas in here. You've got the asparagus and just bananas, which are not a bad fruit, right? I just said that, right? So and all of this, you're going to get all those vitamins and nutrients in there. In the little green tablets are multivitamin. 2-year-olds can swallow often is a probiotic. And I won't take it for granted that everybody knows about probiotics, but that's the good bacteria that we need in our digestive tract. And vitamin C, vitamin E, and omega, all in one vitamin strip. How convenient is that? So, and then we have awesome supplements for children. So I don't recommend that one for children, but we definitely have some options for them too.
That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are on here that we could all benefit from. And so this one comes in 3 different varieties. And I know you mentioned not necessarily for the younger kids, but can you talk a little bit about the different varieties that we have of the Vitalizer?
Sorry. So yes, so there are 3 different Vitalizers. There's Vitalizer Women's, which is a little bit of little nuance to that. Teenagers, including teenage boys and young adults, like college age, they really need iron. So my 17-year-old son takes the Vitalizer Women's because it has iron in it. The men's vitamin Vitalizer does not have iron in it, and that would be for any man or any adult that for some reason gets too much iron, though that's not common at all. And then the Vitalizer Gold is really for people over 50 or women past menopause. So there are some women who have not been through menopause at 50 years old, and they would still need to do the women's because they would need the iron. But you get lots of vitamins and nutrients from all of these, and Shaklee has targeted a Vitalizer based on where someone is and what station they're in their life.
That's perfect. It makes it really easy to be able to figure out exactly which one you should be on and not have to put too much thought behind it. And you talked, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot I had this slide in here. You talked a little bit about each of the different nutrients that was in there based on the size of those. So here that is again for you guys. And the smart delivery system. Did you talk about that? I don't think you did.
I can. I feel like you're putting me on the spot, Kalina, because I know you can do these things.
Oh, I'd be happy to. The smart delivery system is one of my favorite things about this, because there's a lot of products out there that you can take it and, like for the probiotic, for example, I've been to the store and I've looked because Shaklee told me that they have a guaranteed live delivery. And so I thought, gosh, wouldn't all probiotics have that? No, they don't. They have printed right on the bottle. There will be an asterisk next to the amount of bacteria that's in there. And it says at time of manufacturing. And so that actually telling you what it is that you're going to be getting in your gut, you know, where it matters, where you want those nutrients to be. And so what Shaklee did is they created a coating, or they developed the tablet itself to make sure that it's going to dissolve where your body needs it so that you can have proper absorption of each of the nutrients that we're giving to your body. And so that's what makes this, you know, the technology really that's behind this strip so phenomenal, is because Shaklee's ensured that your body's going to get the nutrients where your body needs them, no matter what. So we have a great trio of products. You know, the Vitalizer is your foundation, right? So we're going to talk a little bit right now about some of those medicine chest items that you need to have on hand so that if you do get a cold, right? Because we're not saying that you're never, ever going to get sick. We're saying we want to build that healthy foundation for you. So if you were to get sick, here's some great products that are going to really fuel your immune system. And so, Becky, would you like to walk through these 3 products for us?
I would. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that this does not mean that you're never going to get sick. This does not mean you're never going to get a cold, or, you know, you're never going to get a sinus infection. So what you're looking at is a product that is going to make sure that if you traditionally are sick all winter, that you never get sick that entire winter. What we're looking for is better health, better sleep, a reduction in the number of illnesses, and more importantly, a reduction in the severity. So for example, we don't get the flu in my house, knock on wood. We don't get the flu, but we do get colds in our house, and we want to knock them out as quickly as possible. We want to prevent them from spreading throughout the entire house. I grew up, and even when I started having children, anybody emphatic. I mean, that's like a challenge to me. That's a day that will not happen. And that's because I do use all of the products on this screen. And as I go through them, I'm actually going to share some additional information about who else in my house uses these products. So the interferon is absolutely phenomenal. I won't go into all the details behind the research and such, but I will tell you there is nothing else on the market. The company cannot make claims about what interferon can do in relation to the flu and such, but I will tell you that there are studies in the Journal of Virology, and it has been tested on the flu. And if you want to do a Google search and compare Nutriferon to that other pharmaceutical product that gets prescribed when somebody gets the flu, you will find the comparisons on there between that product. I take this product all year round because it actually stopped my seasonal allergies almost completely. I maybe have 2 weeks out of the year where I have seasonal allergies now, and the rest of my family, extended family, all take allergy shots, and I do not. But I definitely make sure that it's getting in me and my teenagers, and really anybody in my house that is old enough to swallow. You know, definitely 12 and over, maybe a 10 or 11-year-old takes Nutriferon to prevent and to reduce the severity of illnesses. And then vitalized immunity, this is a product that you want to have in your quote unquote medicine cabinet, your herbal medicine cabinet. You don't want to have to desperately try to find somebody who has this when you get sick. Now, my 5-year-old actually asks for her fizzy juice every day.
It's so good.
Yeah, exactly. Kalina, do your kids drink the vitalized immunity, or do you hoard it for yourself?
I kind of hoard it. We don't drink any fizzy drinks in our house. So when they try it, they tell me that it's good, but it's kind of spicy because they're not used to the fizziness of it.
Yeah, and actually just a little trick on that is that we crush it down to a powder if you need to use it, and it doesn't fizz. And I also, it's not sweet enough for my 5-year-old, so I actually sweeten it with stevia. For some people, for her, it's not. But she fights me on a lot of vitamins, and she's one that I can get into her without any problem. So this is your replacement for your emergency or those little fizzy tablets that are over the counter. A lot of them have really harmful chemicals in them, and some of them have actually gotten in trouble because they do liver damage. So please don't use those fizzy tablets, those emergency ones and such. that are on the market, keep these in your cabinet instead. You can use them every day, or you can save them for when you really need them. And then what's really awesome is Shaklee has a promotion right now that if you buy a package that has the Nutrifuron and the Vitalized Immunity in it, they're going to give you the Defend and Resist, which is your echinacea product.
Mm-hmm.
And the echinacea product, that is a product that when you start to get a tickle in your throat, when you start to get sick, you want to take that, and it's recommended to take it for up to 7 to 10 days. Echinacea builds up in your system, and it's harmful to take it more than 10 days, but you start to build a resistance. So you really only want to use the Defend Resist. You can suck on it when you have a sore throat or such, but you really just want to use it for about 7 to 10 days and then take a break from it. And then if you need it again, because you start to get a tickle in your throat a couple weeks later, you'll be able to use it again.
Yeah, and for those of you who that may have broken up for, what Becky said is that the Nutrifuron and the Vitalized Immunity, when you purchase those two products right now, if you're watching this live with us, we do have a promotion where the Defend and Resist will be for free. We have a comment in our comment box about Vitalized Immunity. Marianne says that she drinks it almost every day with ice, and her mom likes it hot. She says that it helps her have a good night's rest. And I have to say, that I thought that was interesting too. I've never heard of anybody drinking it hot. So thank you, Marianne, very much for sharing that with us. But I do have to say that when it comes, yeah?
It dissolves faster if it's hot too.
Ah, okay. So if you need it in a hurry, that's a good way to be able to get it dissolved faster. I meant to have one of those with me, but they're really neat. They're about the size of a quarter. You just put them in there, and when your drink stops fizzing, then it's ready to eat, or drink rather. But the Defend and Resist, those are good to chew or suck on. You can swallow them, but my favorite way to have them is as a tea. I really love to drink it. I feel like it makes my throat feel nice and soothed, and it's nice if you're not feeling very well, when you have that tickle going on. It's nice to cozy up with a nice warm beverage, so that's a great way to do that as well. We have talked a little bit about the children's immune system, and we are going over our time a little bit here, so I want to make sure we kind of fly through this since we do have the slides for it. So we're talking about younger immune systems and trying to stay strong. The school kids are in close contact with each other all the time. They don't always have the best hygiene, right? They have their fingers in their mouths, or they wipe their nose and share a book and different things like that. And so very natural for them to be able to get some illnesses going on. And so for those of you who joined us on our talk last week, we did talk about the Incredibites, but for those of you who are joining us for the first time tonight, we do want to make sure that we touch on this product just a little bit. The Incredibites is loaded with 23 essential vitamins and minerals for healthy development. It's got adequate amounts of calcium and vitamin D, which are crucial to bone nutrients as well. And they come in really tasty flavors. My kids really love the taste of these. And so not only are we going to, this is going to be that foundational product for you as well, like we talked about with the Vitalizer for the adults. So this is the alternative for the kids, the chewable ones that they can really, very easy to get into their system. And Becky, would you like to talk about the immune component that is part of the Incredibites, the lactoferrin? Could you touch on that for us?
Yes. So the Shaklee Incredibites is the first children's multivitamin in the world to ever put lactoferrin in there. Lactoferrin is a prebiotic. Prebiotics feed that good bacteria that we talked about with the little pearl, the Optiflora. It feeds those bacteria to beef up the immune system. So that's a really big deal that we have that ingredient in a children's multivitamin. And I do want to mention lactoferrin is derived from dairy. So Shaklee wanted to make sure that even if someone had a dairy allergy, that they had a phenomenal option. So Shaklee has another children's vitamin called Ocean Wonders that is kosher certified. It's dairy free. And I'm not sure if it's on the next slide. I don't think it is. But that is a phenomenal option too. And I actually alternate between the Incredibites and the Ocean Wonders in my house.
Yeah, we have both in our house a lot of the times too. Just because sometimes they want to have fish on their supplements instead of the superhero imprints that are on them. So they just like to switch it up. So
right. Now, really quickly, I want to mention, because somebody's going to ask, on the slide before, it said for ages 4 to 12. The serving of the children's vitamins is 2 a day. If they're under 4, you can give them 1.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. That is definitely an important thing. And this one, it says for ages 12 and over, but really, when is it appropriate for a child to be able to take the Vital A?
Yeah, so really, in my office, I base this on the child. So some 8-year-olds can swallow and they will not chew a children's vitamin. And so I say, go ahead and give them a Vitalia. However, if a child is getting sick frequently, I actually often like them to get the chewable because I feel like it gets into them faster. It doesn't time release like the Vitalia does. So honestly, what's really excellent is that Shackley has the children's vitamins. They have the Vitalia, which is perfectly fine to give a child one of the Vitalia, or a 12-year-old can take 2 of them. Um, and then if you can't get your child to take either, we have other options like a liquid one, a powdered one. So the thing about multivitamin is that we have so many options. We just get it into them. So I'm not real particular. I just want it done. If that makes sense.
It absolutely does make sense. I mean, I think like there's about 5 different options to be able to choose from when it comes to a multivitamin. So there's really no excuse when it comes to being able to find a way to get it into your child. We will help you find that way. Becky's gone through 6 kids with a multivitamin and trying to get it into them. So between the 2 of us, we've got some pretty creative ways of making sure that they're going to get what they need. Other ways
Right.
to
It's not optional in my household.
mm-hmm.
So my kid won't take that. You know what? If your doctor prescribed an antibiotic, you would probably hold them down with 3 adults on a 4-year-old and stick it down their throat.
Mm-hmm.
So multivitamin is just not optional because I don't like to do sick in my house. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't like to do sick either. It's not fun for them. It's not fun for me. It's just not fun in any way. And this one here, this vitamin C in our house, we all like it, kids and adults alike. And so, can you talk about why the vitamin C is such an important piece of our immune support?
Yeah, I mean, vitamin C is essential. I mean, if we don't get enough of this in our diet. So it's a powerful antioxidant that helps support the immune system. It's ideal for both children or adults who have difficulty swallowing because this is a chewable. But I will say that even if somebody can swallow, whether it's an adult or a child, if they're sick, pop the chewable vitamin C because the swallowable one is a time release, which means they're constantly getting that in their system. But the chewable one is immediate. So it's a great citrus flavor, and yeah, the screen says so. Vitamin C, there's nobody, unless somebody, I don't know, has like a citrus allergy, there's nobody under the sun who shouldn't be taking vitamin C.
So the sustained release for a regular basis, which for those of you who are interested in the Vitalizer, that is part of the Vitalizer. But if you're sick and you're on the Vitalizer, then you would want to add some additional vitamin C to your regimen to try to really fight off that cold. Is that what you're saying, Becky?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. This is our children's Mighty Smart. This is our fish oil option for the young ones. And this is a great product. It's not really the size of a Starburst, but it's kind of the consistency. It's actually a little bit softer than a Starburst, and it's got a citrus flavor to it. There's no, yucky, fishy taste to it, which is really helpful. The kids look at it like it's a piece of candy, which is great. And, really it's going to help with eye and brain development. It's going to support that eye function. We call it Mighty Smarts because it's going to help with focus and with the brain development, which is so important for the kids to get that DHA in their bodies. And so this is a phenomenal way for us to be able to do that for the kids. So we have, in addition to, and I think I have the immune system one on here, but for the kids, we do have a great power pack. And it comes with a superhero guide with some fun things to do for your kids to help get them involved and engaged in supporting their immune system. And so you could give them, depending on their age, 2 Incredib, 1 Mighty Smart, and the chewable vitamin C every single day to really help to support their needs and help to support their immune system. So we want to make sure that we do everything that we can to stay healthy this winter. You can take advantage of the promotion that we discussed. But also follow the tips that we talked about. Get a good night's rest. Sip on some tea. Get yourself that protein fix every single day to make sure your cells have everything that they need to be supported. Wash your hands as often as possible and keep your fingers, out of your eyes or your mouth, especially if you've been out in a public place. Avoid touching your face with your hands because that's a really easy way for us to be spreading germs or picking them up and accidentally getting them on ourselves. Wipe down your cell phone. How many of you are actively making sure that you are cleaning your cell phone every single day? We set that down in probably some pretty questionable surfaces on a daily basis, and we make sure that we're washing our hands, but how often are we washing the device that we're touching with our hands all the time? And we also want to make sure that we're getting that moderate exercise that Becky was mentioning was so important to us. So if you are not sure where to get started, then I invite you to talk to the person who invited you here today. You can take what's called our Shackley Health Print to go ahead and get a personalized health assessment. This is a very quick 5 minutes or less health assessment that asks 20 questions to go ahead and make sure that we get an accurate snapshot of your health. And not only is it going to give you that snapshot of your health, but it's also going to help you to identify your top 3 health goals. And so once we know what those are, and we have that snapshot of your health, it's going to go ahead and give you a personalized assessment that's going to also come with some product recommendations, but also show you exactly where you stand with your health and whether if there's some changes that maybe need to be made in what you're consuming on a daily basis or how active you are. So I invite everyone to take a moment and go ahead and get that health print. And if you're not sure where to get that from, please talk to the person who invited you here today, and they can easily provide you with the link so that you can complete your health print. Becky, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. Do you have any departing comments that you'd like to leave us with?
No, I don't. I hope, I know it broke up a little bit a couple of times. I hope everybody was able to get the information. And just remember that we do have the children's pack. We also have a promotion on the immune health pack. And if you don't have it in your home, when you get sick, you're going to be sorry. So these are products you want to be taking now to build your health, but you really want to make sure that you have the right products in your house so that when your kid gets sick, you have your go-tos. So.
Right, absolutely. What was that last part, Becky?
It's my parting news because people get, on Facebook, people start posting, oh my gosh, my kid is sick right now. What do I do? And I'm sure for you too, it breaks my heart when I'm like, you're in a different state and I don't know how to get through this stuff right now. So we don't want to have to send you to the store for an inferior product.
Right. We definitely want to make sure that you're armed and that you're ready for the things that may come your way. And if not, then you're going to have them for if they do. So that's really great advice. Get armed, have what we need on hand so that you are not caught in a position where you don't have what you need to really zap your immune system when it needs some zapping. So Becky, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We hope that you'll come back, you guys. We will have another Ask the Naturopath. I'll let Becky know what that topic will be when we discuss what it'll be, but it's so great to have you on and to be able to pick your brain. So thank you very much for that. And thank you to everyone who joined us tonight, whether it be here on Zoom or also live in any of the Facebook rooms. So thank you all, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Take care.